Donald Trump is using an old wartime law to deport 200 gang members from the United States to El Salvador, and the case of the missing student in the Dominican Republic is still capturing the attention of Americans. The search continues and there is one prime suspect now. Welcome to Bauernebel News. Seen dramatic images, American planes landing in El Salvador, and 2 dozens of members of very dangerous gangs are being unloaded from these planes. Basically, their heads put down. Really dramatic images, escorted by dozens of security forces. These criminals who have been living in the United States belong mainly to 2 dangerous gangs, MS-13 from El Salvador and Tren de Aragua out from Venezuela, of course. These gang members are high priorities, of course, by the government of Donald Trump, and it is clear with these flights, deportation flights, he is also making a point. Of course, these potential criminals will be escorted to one of the most notorious jails in El Salvador. This jail facility has made headlines in the last years with its dramatic images of gang members with shaven heads, body on body in very overcrowded conditions. And this is exactly the jail those gang members from the United States will now be deported. Many people call this hell on earth. There is another twist, of course, in that story. When the flights were happening, a judge basically wanted to stop the entire action. He argued that it is unlawful. He ordered the planes to go back, but this was ignored by the Trump administration. So the planes did land in El Salvador. Of course, Donald Trump is using a rarely used wartime law, the Aliens Act, which has been passed nearly 200 years ago. He's arguing that this is a wartime, and this can give him special powers to make these deportations, to make these arrests and bring these people out of the country. Then Donald Trump was asked if this is okay with him, and he was also asked about the reactions by the judiciary, and he said, well, we are at war and these orders are justified. It is a case that has captured the hearts and attention of Americans. It is the case of 20-year-old Sudiksha Konanki, a student of the University of Pittsburgh, who has disappeared during a holiday trip to the Dominican Republic. She is now gone for nearly 2 weeks. She disappeared during an evening time, nighttime swim with some friends, namely, of course, the person of interest in this case, a former wrestler, 22 years old, Joshua Riibe. He was the last person who have seen Konanki alive, certainly, and he's telling stories. They just don't seem to add up. The police was kind of easygoing in the beginning as far as he was concerned. They refused to call him a person of interest, but now things are changing, obviously, for the in a dramatic fashion. Now the police has kind of recreated the scenes with him on the beach. He was seen with police or escorts walking down up and down the beach. He told investigators the story that is sort of raising a lot of eyebrows. He said they were together at the beach, they were kissing briefly, then they went in the water, there was heavy sea. He did pull her out, he said, kind of portrayed himself as saving her. Then he said he kind of himself had troubles, he was vomiting, and when he basically regained consciousness, he claimed that she was gone. That, of course, is a story that is now in question, and the authorities are turning up the heat on him. Of course, he is now seemingly a person of interest. His passport was confiscated, and he is not allowed to leave his hotel rooms in the Dominican Republic near Punta Cana. All these points that there is possibly foul play involved, but also, of course, it is possible that she was just swept out in the sea and will never be found.